So in prior videos, I talked about what Ash and Gary's teams would be in every single main series game, and this was primarily because Ash himself was in every season of the Pokemon anime. But that wasn't the case for Gary, and it was only while I was making the video for Gary that I realized, dang, forget the game, no one cares about that stuff. These videos will get so many more views if I talk about the various different anime characters having full teams of 6 in every region of the anime itself. So you know what? Though he has the most appearances next to Ash and Team Rocket, we're going to talk about Brock and what each of his teams would be in every region of the anime. Now of course, Brock has mainly traveled in 4 different regions and has had cameos throughout the entirety of the series, and has had Pokemon from various different regions as well. But what if he had a team of 6 going to each region? What would that look like? That's what we're going to go over in this video. So for the first few regions, giving Brock a team of 6 is going to be quite easy, as again, he's had Pokemon from these regions before. In Kanto, Brock primarily traveled with his Onix, Geodude, Zubat, and Susie's Vulpix. Now Brock had 2 roles in the Kanto region, apart from being Ash's traveling companion, and that was his role as a Pewter City gym leader, as well as an aspiring Pokemon breeder. Onix and Geodude obviously represent his role as a Rock-type gym leader, and Susie's Vulpix solidified Brock's role as a Pokemon breeder. Zubat might seem like an oddball here, but as it evolved into Crobat through Happiness and Johto, it also helped Brock's case as a breeder. If Brock needed 2 more Pokemon, I would want to add 1 more Pokemon to each of these lists, and the 2 Pokemon that I would personally give him would be Aerodactyl and Kangaskhan. Aerodactyl being a fossil Pokemon, and a Pokemon that's a rock and flying type, would have been quite an interesting member on the team, and it presents a perfect opportunity for a capture and a rivalry with Ash's Charizard if it was the same Aerodactyl from attacking the prehistoric Pokemon. And with Kangaskhan, I mean, come on, it's the parental Pokemon, and Brock having a Pokemon like that, that's basically a mother and child together, would have been a perfect Pokemon for that goal of his. So yeah, I think if Brock had a team of 6, his Pokemon team would have been Onix, Geodude, Zubat, Vulpix, Aerodactyl, and Kangaskhan. Now normally for this series, I'm going to have every Pokemon be fully evolved based on that region, so while Brock didn't have them, I do think he should in fact have Golem, and at this point, Golbat. And while Vulpix still technically wasn't his, hey, he can have Ninetales too, why not? And this honestly makes for a pretty strong team. Moving on to Johto, the only 3 Pokemon I would have Brock carry over will be his first 3. That being Onix, which would now become Steelix, Golem, and of course, Golbat into Crobat. Brock didn't actually get a Steelix in the Johto saga, and it was only during the Battle Frontier that he got it. But I think now would have been a good time to look into the brand new Steel type with the main cast. And he kinda did, cause Brock did catch a Pineco which evolved into Fortress this generation, which is pretty cool. But as we can see, his team is now kinda lacking some rock type Pokemon, so how about we help him out with the Shuckle. Now I know Shuckle isn't exactly a powerhouse Pokemon, but it's a pretty gimmicky Pokemon, which Brock has a lot of. But not only that, but Shuckle also makes a lot of berry juice, which really works well with Brock's team of not only being a Pokemon breeder and taking care of his Pokemon, but can also support him in his endeavors in being a cook. Makes sense, right? I really think this one was a missed opportunity, and it could have had some cool moments. I also think Brock could have benefited from a baby Pokemon in this generation, as this was the time where they introduced it in the world of Pokemon, and probably the most fitting one for him would have been Tyrogue. It could have been a very feisty and disobedient Pokemon that later balanced out with Brock's help and evolved into Hitmontop, showcasing even more of Johto's new Pokemon. So with that, my team for Brock and Johto would have been Steelix, Golem, Crobat, Fortress, Shuckle, and Hitmontop. Brock and Hoenn though didn't make much sense to me. I was glad that Brock was there, but in terms of his choice for Pokemon, it was just kinda weird. First of all, he brought over Fortress, which, okay I guess, though it didn't do much past the beginning. I would also at this point ensure that he brings over Steelix and Crobat with him as well, so that's already 3 spots taken. And we all know that he has Ludicolo and Marshtomp on his team as well. Which, let's be honest, besides the fact that it evolved really late, there's no excuse for Marshtomp not evolving into Swampert, so we'll give him that too. It's the closest we got to a Rock-type starter at this point in time anyways. But for our last slot, we really have to give him a Rock-type Pokemon, cause well, this guy has 2 Steel types, 2 Ground types, and 2 Water types, but not a single Rock type. And honestly, the only feasible Rock type that I can see Brock having would be Nosepass. Yeah, see, a lot of the rock types in Hoenn came in pairs, and the only other single rock types I could see for him could be Aggron or Relicanth, which, like I just mentioned, he has enough of those typings already, so the best Pokemon I could get for him would be Nosepass. Maybe Roxanne gives him one as a gift to another rock type gym leader or something. I don't know, but hey, this helps us with Sinnoh later, so in Hoenn, Brock's team would be Steelix, Crobat, Fortress, Ludicolo, Swampert, and Nosepass. Easily his weirdest team yet. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, with Steelix, Crobat, and Nosepass, our Sinnoh team for Brock is pretty much set. Brock went into Sinnoh with his Bonsly being his only Pokemon that he caught from earlier in the Battle Frontier, and obviously, Bonsly later evolved into Sudowoodo and became a staple on his team. But Brock also got Croagunk and Happiny later on as well, which are both pretty tough, strong, and gimmicky Pokemon. Oddly enough, this team of 3 was probably his best and most memorable team, and I wouldn't want to do anything to replace them. Now while Happiny and Bonsly did represent the new baby Pokemon in Sinnoh, Brock didn't have any Pokemon to represent the new evolutions in Sinnoh, which is kind of what the whole region was about, and that's where Nosepass comes in. By having Nosepass evolve with the Probopass, that not only gives more meaning for Brock catching Nosepass in Hoenn, but also shows off a cool new feature in Sinnoh. And before we get to Brock's final team, yes, Happiny did evolve into Chansey, and for this video, we're gonna make her evolve into Blissey. But Croagunk, man, I can't make Croagunk evolve. Croagunk is literally the equivalent of Pikachu and Piplup to Ash and Dawn, and I can't do that to him. He's funnier as a Croagunk, and besides, there's a Croagunk cult on Twitter now, and I can't have them come after my head, so yeah. Brock's final Sinnoh team? Steelix, Crobat, Probopass, Sudowoodo, Croagunk, and Blissey. Now of course, as Brock goes to Unova, he has a newfound goal. Instead of wanting to become a Pokemon breeder, he decides to go the path of becoming a Pokemon doctor. This is the reason why he had Chansey on his team in the first place, and in this series, we could take Blissey along, but I think it's better to stick to Steelix, Crobat, and Croagunk. I know it's weird to have 2 poison types as 2 of Brock's main Pokemon, but hey, poisons can be used as medicine, and besides, Croagunk needs to be there to stop Brock from getting at the girls. The reason why I didn't take Blissey along here is because, judging by Brock's time in Alola, it seems like he would actually take a healing Pokemon from the region rather than carry Blissey around with him wherever he goes. So in the case of Unova, Brock would definitely have Audino on his team. And on top of that, the Pokemon Doctor class was introduced in this generation in the games, so it's perfect for Brock to carry an Audino with him. As for his Rock-type Pokemon, we don't have too many once again, and honestly, I think Gigalith works well, but obviously Ash has a Boldore. So hey, my headcanon here is that Ash catches Boldore and Brock gets Girder, and they both trade, getting Gigalith and Conkeldurr respectively. I actually think it would be cooler for Brock to have Conkeldurr, and I can actually see him having one. But I do want him to have at least one rock type, so we'll stick to Gigalith. As for his last Pokemon, it may be an odd one, but I think he should have Lilligant on his team. Lilligant's a Pokemon that can not only help Brock as a doctor, as it seems to have a relaxing fragrance that it produces, but the flower on its head has also been known to be impossible to bloom, even with the help of veteran trainers. But this would be a nice opportunity to showcase Brock's previous skills as a great Pokemon breeder, and at the same time, give him a Pokemon that helps him as a doctor. So my team for him in Unova? The same 3 Pokemon that we had before, along with Audino, Gigalith, and Lilligant. Kalos, as per usual, is kinda hard to go by because of its small deck size, and from what I can tell, there isn't any prominent nurse or doctor type Pokemon in this region. So I think because of that and the small deck size, Brock should either take Blissey or Audino with him here. In this case, we'll say it's gonna be Blissey. Yes, I know Audino Mega Evolves and all, but Steelix is his Mega Evolution Pokemon as it is, so I think this actually checks out pretty well. Now for his Rock type Pokemon from this region, we'll give him Barbaracle. There have been many Rock and Water type Pokemon till this point that I just haven't given him for one reason or another, but I think it's about time he gets one, especially since his father is a Rock type specialist and his mother is a Water type specialist. And plus, Barbaracle is a pretty unique Pokemon. And for his final team member, I do think he should get either Aromatisse or Slurpuff. Now Aromatisse would make the most sense, as it is a plague doctor. But I don't know, I think Slurpuff kinda fits him better. It's so derpy and all, and he kinda needs a goofy factor to his team, and I think it could help Brock with his cooking. So yeah, I think his Kalos team will have the return of Blissey and Barbarical and Slurpuff to his roster. For Brock's Alola team, we already got one new member covered, Comfey. Comfey was the reason why I wanted Brock to catch Audino and Unova, as it looked as if Brock wasn't getting multiple healing Pokemon after this episode. And you know, I kinda like that. So Comfey takes the doctor role in his team. And of course, for his new rock type, we have to give him a Alolan Golem. I know, it's basically a dupe for his team, but at the same time it's not. And come on, it'll be cool to see Brock with an electric type Pokemon, and also with 2 Golems that he can use in a double battle. And for his last Alolan pick, I have a rather strange entry for him, but one I think works really well, and that's Kommo-o. Kommo-o didn't get enough time in the spotlight, I feel, and if there's any one pseudo that I think fits Brock, it would be Kommo-o. I know it's a really strong Pokemon for him, but at this point, Brock deserves a pseudo, alright? So Comfey, Alolan Golem, and Kommo-o is what we're giving him. And finally for Galar, now I hate to say it, but once again, I cannot find another Doctor or Nurse type Pokemon for Brock. And so just to mix it up a bit, we'll say that instead of taking Blissey, this time, Brock will bring Audino with him. And of course, Brock is going to need a rock type, and it's been a little while since I had a fire type as well, so I think Colossal should do the trick for him, as it is a pretty cool rock and fire type Pokemon. And for his last Pokemon, it's going to be a very odd choice I know, but I honestly think he should take a Berserker on his team. Berserker will be like another Mimi or Derpy Pokemon, and as a Steel type, I think it'll make for a great duo with Brock's Krogunk, as it's a poison and fighting type. They'd either be really good friends, rivals, or both. And it'd just be nice to have a Meowth Evo on this side of the anime for once, making for some funny interactions with Team Rocket's Meowth, of course. So his final team in Galar, Audino, Colossal, and Berserker. And my personal favorite team from the ones we made for Brock here, it'd have to be between his Kanto and Johto team. But I think ultimately, I'm gonna go with this Johto team. Overall, great Pokemon that represent him in many ways, and a very strong and unique team as well. But do let me know what your favorite team of Brock's is from this list, and what Pokemon you would have given him for each of his teams as well. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed. Next time, we'll cover Misty's team in every region of the anime. Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys over on the next video, alright? Later.